Adult 4, Unit 5A. Let's review past tenses. There are different ways to use past tenses in English. There is simple past, past continuous, past perfect. What is the difference? How do I use them? Let's check. First, simple past. Worked, stopped, went, had. She was born in Seoul. Verb to be, past. They got married last year. Verb get in the past. On the way to Rome, we stopped in Florence for the night. Stop is present, stopped is past. The plane didn't arrive on time. Didn't and did are the auxiliary verbs for the past tense. Negative with didn't. Questions with did. What time did you get up this morning? And your second verb is base form. Okay? So for positive, if it's irregular, change from present to was past. If it's a regular verb, change from present stop to stopped past ed. If it's a negative, add didn't. If it's a question, add did, but your verb stays in the base. The plane didn't arrive on time. What time did you get up this morning? To practice irregular verbs, it's page 165 in your text. Simple past is for events that are finished. This event is finished, it's done. Yesterday, last week, last year, on Christmas last year, when I was born, past. But sometimes we have past continuous. This is was, were, verb ing. We use the past continuous to talk about an action in progress at a specific time in the past. For example, what were you doing at 6 o'clock last night? At 6 o'clock last night, what event was in progress? What were you doing? Verb to be in the past and ing. So was, were, verb ing. Number two, I was driving along the freeway when it started snowing. I was driving was in progress in the past when it started snowing. Number three, while I was doing the housework, the children were playing in the yard. I was, children were. I was, you were, he was, she was, it was, we were, they were. Number four, it was a cold night and it was raining. I was watching TV in the living room. These events were in progress in the past. Often they are interrupted by another action. I was watching TV when I got a message. I was playing video games when the power went out. Okay, so past continuous events in progress in the past. Was, were, ing. Past perfect is had and the past participle for events, the past of the past, earlier than your past. This is a good explanation. When John arrived, they went out. Past simple, past simple. First, John arrived, then they went out. But with past perfect, it's different. When John arrived, they had gone out. First, they had gone out, then John arrived. Okay, that's the difference. Here's an example. When they turned on the TV, the game had already finished. First, the game finished, then they turned on the TV. But in my story, they turned on the TV and the game had already finished. Had is your auxiliary and finished is your past participle. But for regular verbs, the past participle and the past are the same, so just ed. As soon as I shut the door, I realized that I'd left my keys on the table. I had left. I'd left. Leave is an irregular verb. The past participle is left. And it's possible for the negative too. We couldn't get a table in the restaurant because we hadn't booked one. Book is a regular verb, so booked is past participle. But this is negative, so we hadn't booked one. Using narrative tenses together, it was a cold night and it was raining. I was watching TV in the living room. Suddenly, I heard a knock at the door. I got up and opened the door, but there was nobody there. The person who had knocked on the door had disappeared. It was a cold night, past simple, and it was raining, past continuous. This event was in progress. I was watching TV, an event in progress in the living room. Suddenly, I heard a knock at the door. Event, past simple. I got up. Event, past simple. And opened, event, past simple, the door, but there was nobody there. The person who had knocked, past perfect, because the knock was before I got up and opened the door. And they had disappeared again before I got up and opened the door. So past perfect had disappeared. Okay, let's practice. Circle the correct form. For example, the teacher gave Robbie a 0 because he had cheated on the exam. First, he cheated, then the teacher gave Robbie a 0. So past perfect. Pause and complete 9 questions. Okay, let's check. Number 1, they didn't win the game, although they had trained every evening. They trained before the game. Number 2, Mike had an accident while he was driving to work. Was driving, that was in progress when he had the accident, all in the past. I cleaned the house when I got home. It looked great. That is a regular past action. Number 4, when we arrived, the game started. We got there just in time and saw the whole game. The game hadn't started because the game started at exactly the moment they arrived. It's a regular past event. Number 5, the captain didn't score or hadn't scored any goals when the referee ejected him. So before, so hadn't scored any goals. Number 6, my son got injured while he was playing. It was in progress. He was playing in progress when he got injured. Number 7, luckily we had stopped skiing when the snowstorm started. We were already back at the hotel, so we know that the skiing had stopped. Not snowstorm, then stop. It was stop, then snowstorm. We had stopped skiing. 8, the Lakers weren't losing or hadn't lost any of their games during their trip to the East Coast. And before, so it started. And the referee suspended the game because it was raining too hard to play. Part B, complete with the simple past, past continuous, or past perfect. For example, the marathon runner was sweating when she crossed the finish line. Sweating was in progress, and cross the finish line is a finished event. So continuous and simple past. Pause and complete 8 questions. Okay, let's check. The accident happened. Moment, my computer needs to load. Get extra practice time. Not responding. I will explain. The accident happened when they were driving home. The accident happened when they were driving home. Happened is the event. Were driving was in progress. Here we go. Number 2, the crowd when the referee the final whistle. This is past simple, past simple. The crowd cheered when the referee blew the final whistle. Blow is an irregular verb. Blow and blew. Number 3, I her at first because she so much. I didn't recognize her at first because she had changed so much. Changed before I recognized her. Changed before I recognized. Still being slow. It's thinking about it. Here are your answers. They were driving home. The crowd cheered. Everyone cheered when the referee blew the final whistle. And the referee didn't recognize her at first. Number 4, the police stopped her on the freeway because she, in progress, wasn't wearing. Number 5, some of the players in progress, but negative, weren't listening while the coach, again in progress, was talking to them. Number 6, not can. Okay. We couldn't use the ski slope because it hadn't snowed enough. That's before it hadn't snowed enough. They were not able to play tennis because they before hadn't booked court. And number 8, the player got a yellow card because he had taken off. Sorry, the computer does not want to help us today, right? 8, the player got a yellow card because he had taken off his shirt. Sorry for the slow technical problems with my PDF, but it's see you next time.